What's up YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Regidrago in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section. If you enjoy these, they help you out, drop a like and let's get into it. So, Regidrago has a fat health stat. It is enormous, 200 base. Now, it's got some pretty interesting stats here. So we got the Mega health stat. We got the attack and the special attack, which are the same. And then we've got 80 base speed. So the other defense and special defense aren't really all that good. But its health stat does kind of make up for that a lot. So it has the ability Dragon's Maul. So basically what that does, the Pokemon's offensive stat gets multiplied by 1.5 when it uses a dragon type attack. So any dragon type attacks used by this Pokemon are going to be hitting really, really hard. Now, this can run a Choice Scarf and Choice Spec set pretty nicely for sure. So let's check that out. So we're looking at its main move here that you want to use it on a special set. That's Dragon Energy. Basically, Dragon Energy is a dragon move and it's special. And the more health you get, the more power it is. So virtually it's like Water Spout on Kyogre or something like that, but it's just a dragon move instead. It hits both the opponents in doubles and such too. So it's a very, very powerful move when you couple it with this ability here. So that's a nice spammable move for Regidrago. Another move you've got for any steel type Pokemon is Earth Power. And then the Terra that's probably the best out of all of them is like Terra Steel or Terra Dragon. One of those two are going to be the best. Generally, Terra Steel is the best because it resists ice moves and fairy moves. And it gives you that extra coverage against fairy type Pokemon too. So if you don't want to do Terra Dragon and boost up Dragon Energy with Dragon's Maul and Terra type Dragon, you can change that one to Terra Steel, right? That's a very, very good defensive and offensive Terra for our Terra Blast. Now, the other move is kind of, well, it's kind of a filler move. You can put Draco Meteor on there. That works probably better with Choice Specs. So I would probably opt for Choice Specs over Choice Scarf if it were me, especially in singles play. You might be able to get around it with doubles with other items for speed and stuff like that. So you may not need Choice Scarf, but definitely Choice Specs will be decent and hitting really hard. So you could even go, if your health was really low, so like let's say, all right, I've taken a lot of damage and Dragon Energy isn't going to be so good anymore, you can still go Draco Meteor twice with Choice Specs and it's still going to hit, relatively hard on the second one for sure, because you've got Dragon's War and Specs to sort of, back up that -2 in special attack there. So that's going to work rather nicely. So we've got max special attack and max speed, and you've either got Modest to choose from, or you've got Timid. Timid gives you a little bit more speed at the cost of a little bit more power. So that's going to be probably more a focus for a singles play here. You could use this in doubles, not saying you couldn't, but I feel like there's other strategies that are going to work a little bit better for doubles, and we'll get to them in a sec. So definitely for singles, that sort of set you want. It also, to note here, has a very, very shallow move pool. It's very, very shallow. That's why I'm doubling up on a dragon type move. So you can see how shallow it is, and I'll show you its moves and stuff as this video goes on. Now, the next set, let's have a look at that. So Regidrago can be a nice physical attacker too. So it's got 100 base and attack and special attack, which means it can be either. It's pretty easy to tell what sort of set it's going to be straight away, right? So it does get access to Dragon Dance, which is really cool. That's going to boost its speed and attack. And it also has Scale Shot. So Scale Shot is a nice multi-hitting move there, which can work very, very well with loaded dice. So loaded dice, you're going to get 4 hits minimum, and you might even get a 5th hit as well. So that's pretty powerful. So you've got 100 base power there, straight up. And if you get the 5th hit, it's 125, and that's strong. And with Dragon's Maul, there's no games to be played there. That's going to be hitting pretty hard. Terra Blast Steel, you have to have Terra Blast Steel on there for fairy types. You absolutely need it. And for ice types too. Perfect Terra for it. Really, I've got to say this. If you want to use this competitively, you need to use Terra Steel because that's the only Terra that's the best for it. It covers its weaknesses perfectly and gives it the perfect offense on its shallow move pool. There are some other things you can use like Dragon, but 99% of the time you need Terra Steel to get the best performance out of this Pokemon. Unless you've got an ally that can deal with those fairy types, then sure. And I'll go into some of that in a sec. The other move I'd have on there is Earthquake because that enables you to hit your counter. You know, if you've got a Dragon and a Steel move, you need to be able to hit Steel type Pokemon. So Earthquake kind of comes in nice there. So we got Max Attack and Max Speed, Adamant Nature. Look, you could run Jolly, but I would run Adamant because you've got Scale Shot and you're going to be increasing your speed. So there's not really a lot of point using that. Plus, you've got Dragonets, which is going to increase your speed anyway. So you may as well be hitting as hard as you possibly can against other Pokemon, right? This is geared definitely towards singles more than doubles. So this one, the spec set, you could kind of get away with that one in doubles. If you had some sort of other support. But this one definitely geared towards singles for sure there. So that's really all for Regidrago for a physical set. Let's look at some doubles and VGC play now. Okay, so our next set here, I'm going to run you through 2 sets with Regidrago on this same one. And they're both going to be offensive sets. Firstly, we're going to do a Trick Room one, and then we're going to do a speedier one, depending on what your team is, right? So, you could, for example, run some extra bulk. I know it's got a lot of health, so we're looking at 252s on here, which work pretty well on Regidrago for doubles. So we got our Quiet Nature, max special attack, and max health. Gives it a fat health stat. If you feel like, oh, I want to be able to live a certain move, right? Oh, I'll put it into defense. You know, make it a little bit more offensive. I want to make it a bit more special defensive. Absolutely, you can do that. It's got so much health, so you could get away with that. But for me personally, I would give it max health. It gives it overall bulk, and you're going to be spamming Dragon Energy mostly, so that's only going to really benefit you, right? So we've got Quiet Nature there. I've got Iron Ball on this, so I can be very, very slow under the Trick Room, so that's going to halve my speed. It's not very fast, so that's going to allow you to go first a lot of the time in Trick Room, which is going to be really good. So we can go first with Dragon Energy, and that's going to just be a spammable move with Dragons more, which is going to be super, super strong. I've got Terra Steel here, of course, for Terra Blast Steel. Protect, that's going to be very useful just to stop anyone using Fake Out or flinching moves there, priority moves, wearing your health down so Dragon Energy gets weaker, or stop you from attacking that turn. The other move I put on there is Draco Meteor, just for some damage. Say if you're low health, Dragon Energy is going to do 2 damage, go for Draco Meteor, right? Or you could go Dragon Pulse on there if you wanted to, but there's a vastly big difference between those 2 moves in base power. If you didn't want to put Iron Ball on there, you could do Dragon Fang as well. Like you've got Dragon Fang, Dragon's more, Dragon Energy. It's like insane damage. Like they're all stacking beautifully. If you really wanted crazy damage, you could even go like Terra Dragon. Like that's 4 Dragon boosts there. So you got Dragon Fang, Dragon's more, Dragon's Energy, and Terra Dragon. That's nuts damage, really. If you got a way to deal with Fairy types and Steel types, you're going to be cooking, right? So that's a slow set with Trick Room. Let's do a speedy one, right? Obviously, we want to go as fast as humanly possible. So we're going to want Timid here, right? Now, I know it's not fast. I know that it's not really all that fast at all, but in doubles, you can have Tailwind support. So I would be matching this up with a Tailwind Pokemon, and then you're not going to get outspeed. If you were to do that, I'd even put on Modest, and then you've got Tailwind support doubling your speed. Not much is going to outspeed that, let's be real. Like, that's crazy speed, doubling that. And you could run exactly the same set. You don't even have to adjust anything. Just run the same set and spam Dragon Energy. Like I said, if you got something to deal with Fairy-type Pokemon, like Goldengo, that's a great partner for it. That can deal with those Fairy types easy peasy. Or any type to get rid of dragons. Steel type is obviously very, very good. So you can do one of those two. And as I said before, I'll mention some partners and some counters and stuff like that in a little bit too, if you want to know what is best to use it with. So let's have a look at our second set now. So our second set here is more of a bulky screening set. So I thought I'd make advantage of Regidrago's capability to use Reflect and Light Screen because, you know, with that health and Light Screen and Reflect up, that's going to be super, super good. We've got a little bit more of an involved EV spread here. I'm just trying to get some overall bulk out of this Regidrago set. So we got 252 in health, 180 in defense, and in special defense, we got 56. This enables us to live like threatening moves as well after Reflect and Light Screen. So I would probably put Light Screen up first and then Reflect, depending on what you're versing as well, is another thing. We've got Dragon Pulse on there. You could put Dragon. I don't know if I'd mess around with Dragon Energy because it's going to be too slow. You either put Draco Meteor on there, or I just put Dragon Pulse because in case I was sort of left for that Pokemon, at least you can spam Dragon Pulse and not have the after effects of it. And the other move I thought to give it a Dragon Cheer. So if you use Dragon Cheer on an ally, any Pokemon that's not a Dragon type, you get +1. You give them +1, and then if you go on another Dragon type, you'll give them a +2. Which is going to be in a crit ratio. So, you know, obviously +3 is the max. So normal non-dragon 1, dragon Pokemon 2. So you'd be giving them a focus energy virtually. So that could be an interesting strategy to go for as well. Terra Steel again, Light Clay as the item, increasing that Light Screen and Reflect out to the max there. Let's have a look at the next couple of sets. We got a couple more gimmicky fun sets here, and then we'll talk turkey on some of the teams and counters and some other thoughts. All right, so we were talking about getting critical hits. This is kind of nasty. So this is not using its main move, Dragon move. We're using Draco Meteor. So this is a little bit of a throwback to the old, like, if you used Kingdra before, the Focus Energy Scope Lens Kingdra, except we're using it with Regidrago. So it does learn Focus Energy, and you can give it Scope Lens as well. So after using Focus Energy, your moves will be 100% critting. So Draco Meteor will be critting 100% of the time. So that means you can spam it with no repercussions at all of a special attack drop. We got Terra Blast Steel. That's going to be doing lots of damage to fairies. And we also have Ancient Power as well. If that is a move it gets in its very, very shallow special move pool. If you're lucky enough to get one of those up against just finishing something off, that's going to be doing some wild damage. Draco Meteor and Dragons more. So it's still very powerful. And Draco Meteor is going to actually be hitting harder than a normal Dragon Energy that's not critted. So it's going to be doing tons more damage, and you can spam it too, regardless of how much health you have. This might be all right in singles. If you were to use this, you need some sticky web support. Doubles, you want some tailwind support. Singles, tailwind support as well. That could work. So just something you could try out there. That'd be nasty though. That'd be doing some absolutely crazy damage. All right, let's have a look at a PIMPNITE special set now. All right, so this set is pure scum. So we've got max health, max speed, jolly nature. We got King's Rock, get that 10% chance to flinch. So we got King's Rock Body Slam, going for paralysis, and then we've got Scale Shot to try and flinch the opponent as well at the same time. Try and spread that paralysis, hide behind the sub to get the dub, and hit him with the Dragon's Maw Twister. It's going to be fire, so we're going to get flinches, and we're going to get paralyzers. It's going to be a really amazing, valuable set, so you got to try this one out, everyone. It's gonna do so much there. It's gonna be real good, you know. We got that Terra Dragon, boost up that Scale Shot a little bit, or you could go Terra Normal as well, or Terra Steel if you wanted to be a little bit more defensive. But a fun PIMPNITE special set there. Always like to include one of those. Let's talk about some teammates and counters. So some good counters here. Actually, we'll do the teammates first. Some good teammates for Regidrago here, whether you're running, I don't know, Terra Steel, whether you're running, a double set or a single set, this is a good counter. So we talked about Goldengo already. Goldengo is nice. With Make It Rain, it can threaten those fairy-type Pokemon. It's going to be good. And so it's going to get around that. And also other Pokemon like Fluttermane that threaten this a lot. So some good counters. I'll just say the counters now. Some good counters are like Fluttermane, Chiampao. That's a really, really good counter as well. So those heavy hitters, ice, fast heavy hitters for ice moves and, Flutterlane with Moonblast, right? They're going to drop Regidrago. It's not going to be able to do much, right? So you either have to have some Tailwind support or you need a homie here like Goldengo to get that Make It Rain happening. So those work pretty good as a partner. Another one is, I just say Tornadus because pranks the Tailwind, right? And then you're rolling, right? You've got that Tailwind up, and then you could go Terrablast. If you got Terrablast, I just like Terrablast Steel on that. So I would probably have Terrablast Steel, and then you could get rid of Fluttermane pretty easily, right? So that would be pretty nice. And then you can resist the Moonblast if it somehow did live, it had a Focus Ash, etc. like that, So that's definitely gonna be useful. Another good Pokemon is Indeedee as well. Indeedee F. Now, this is good for Psychic Surge and it's good for Trick Room teams. I've done an Indeedee guide. So if you got that slower one that I was talking about before there, so the 0 IV, max health, this sort of set here. If you got this sort of set here, that's going to be great with Indeedee because the Psychic Surge will stop any priority moves and Trick Room will allow you to go first. And you can also have like Follow Me and stuff on there as well for any like counter moves and stuff like that that might try and shut your Regidrago down. So that can definitely be a good one. Another one as well, I'm just going to say Pharaoh Giraffe would kind of do the same thing with Armor Tail, so that's good. And it's got Trick Room as well. So that's pretty nice. Both of them are going to work pretty well there. I'm also thinking of some other counters. Ogerpon's not too bad as well. Any of the Ogerpons could work. And some... I'm just trying to think if there's anything... That's actually pretty good. Zacian. Zacian Crown would make a nice partner because that can destroy Fluttermane and destroy any ice types. So that'd be a great partner for Regidrago. It really would. If you manage to get a Tailwind up or... You've got Zacian just spamming Behemoth Blade on all the ice and Fairy-type Pokemon. That's going to be good. Really, really good. I've done a Zacian guide. Another one is Whimsicott. Whimsicott would be good for Prankster Tailwind as well. That's going to be a great partner. So that's going to help you get that speed boost, help you get those Dragon Energies off and just spam it, right? This is a unit. It just spams Dragon Energy. So a really, really powerful sort of Pokemon there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You could have something like Chi Yu would be kind of a good partner. Like Beads of Ruin would do that would make, if you had this as a partner, because this gets rid of you probably have a little bit of trouble with fairy types still, but that would get rid of ice types. And then Beads of Ruin plus Dragons, more Dragon Energy, Dragon Fang, and that drop in special defense, that's going to do lots of damage as well. So that's not a bad little, not a bad little partner there as well. I would say Amoonguss is good too. Amoonguss with Rage Powder, because obviously that's going to redirect a lot of those fairy type moves. Not so good with the ice type stuff, but definitely with any of those fairy type moves, it's going to be useful for taking the heat off Regidrago. So lots of stuff there to recommend. I'm trying to think of some more things. Let's go count. We've gone counters already. Flutter. We did Flutterlane. I've done that already. So we've got Fluttermane. Actually, Azumarill, I'd say more for singles. Azumarill wouldn't make a bad counter as well with its typing, because Dragon Energy can't do anything to it. Terra Steel, that's going to be neutral. And then, so that's going to cause it some big problems with a huge power Play Rough. Definitely going to be a threat there. Fairy-type Pokemon. So Fairy-type Pokemon and keeping keeping Regidrago in a high amount of health too. That's another thing. So there's quite Enamorous. Enamorous can get around Earth Power. Just think of that. It can get around Earth Power. With Fairy and Flying, you've got that. At least it's going to be neutral for Steel. It might struggle to get around the Terra Steel one though, unless it's got Superpower or something like that. So there are quite a few counters for this Pokemon though. Definitely. But that's a lot of them. I've given you heaps there, heaps to go on. Let's have a look at its moves now. So with its moves, we have got, this is it. It's very, very barren. So we've got D-Dance, which is good. We sort of explained that already. We've got Light Screen, Reflect, Protect, Rest, Sleep Talk. You might be able to get a successful Rest and Sleep Talk set off. That I can see that kind of working. Sub, and you got Dragon Cheer, Endure, and Focus Energy. That's it. That is silly, silly barren. Okay, now we got physical moves. We've gone over most of these. Its best physical dragon move is either Dragon Claw, Outrage, or Scale Shot, which is the norm with loaded dice. And you've also got Breaking Swipe too, so that might be useful. That could be useful on this set. I don't mind that actually. That's actually pretty good. I'm going to change my set there. Let's change that to like Impish. Change that around to Impish. And we'll go Breaking Swipe. That's actually not a bad set there, because you can drop the opponent's attack, still getting a Dragon's Maw boost and getting Light Screen, Reflect up and Cheering. That's not bad. Don't mind that. I forgot that it actually got Breaking Swipe. But that's that. It also gets Reversal. That's more gimmicky. Thunder Fang. Oh, it gets Vice Grip as well. I guess it makes sense. It could do those sort of things. It gets some other. It actually gets a bit of coverage on the physical side compared to its special side. So its special side, that's it. It's so barren. You've got Dragon moves, a Ground move, a Rock move, Terra Blast, and that's it. And a few normal moves, and that's it. So it's very, very barren. Regidrago is pretty easy to figure out what it's going to do. So if it's using special moves, it's going to be a Dragon Energy set. If it's using Dragon Dance, it's going to be a physical set, most likely the Scale Shot or D-Dance Dragon Claw. That's what it is normally, right? It's usually not going to be much else beside that, because it doesn't learn any other moves. That's the thing about it. I don't think there's any other sets I can truly build here, because as you can see, there's really not a lot to build on. I wish I could say I could build you all another. It does get Explosion as well. That's not bad. You could maybe you could put that on a support set. That might be able to work there. And then you got some other stuff. Yeah, there's not too much more. I think that's about it for Regidrago. Overall, Regidrago has a very barren move pool, but it can be an absolute unit with Dragon Energy spam. And if you've got the right partners to get rid of its counters, watch out, because this thing will hit really, really hard. It can be fast, it can work under Trick Room, it's got a lot of health, and it's got pretty much everything it needs. It just needs to spam a powerful Dragon move. And if you don't have anything to stop that, you are going to be in for a world of pain. That's about it, everyone. If you did enjoy that, drop a like. If you want to see me cover another Pokemon or a Pokemon that I haven't done, check the playlist out. And if I haven't done it, put it below in the comment section, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.